trust you had in the answers coming out of the client. Like the client has all this potential inside them, and the client is an all resourceful person. And the answers did come out of your client. How does a coach show up with that level of trust, knowing that the answers will come out of the client?
Cindy, a very simplest belief I have as a coach is I don't know anything about the client.
Yeah.
And I really don't know anything about the client. At least Lakshmi, I've seen her for some time now. There are some, sometimes people suddenly pop up from Germany, Australia. They say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and we start the session. So sometimes I don't even know their second name. So I can't make any assumptions on their behalf. The only thing that I know is magic is with the client and client is the magic. So if anything is going to happen, shift, change, anything that's going to happen in the coaching session, it is with the client. And I've told this many times in my cohorts. Magic happens with the client and client is the magic. And that's my biggest belief as a coach.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live coaching demonstration webinar this week. As you are joining us, do tell us where you're joining us from, and also tell us what you're expecting from today's webinar. Personally, I think live coaching demonstrations are something that I absolutely love. And so I'm really excited about today's live coaching demo. And welcome, everybody. Welcome, Prakash. We have Cindy with us, and we also have Lakshmi with us today, who will be the client for Prakash's live coaching demonstration. Prakash, obviously, as you all know, will be leading the live coaching demo. He would be the coach today. Before launching into the live coaching demonstration, I would just like to take a moment to announce a bunch of exciting programs that we have lined up. So first up, for the coach training programs that we have. First up is our Coaching Foundation or ICF Level 1 program, which gives you the ACC certification. This is starting on 9th April, and this will be facilitated by Prakash, who is also with us in our webinar today, and Priya Ramanarayan, whom some of you may know from the thought leadership sessions. After that, we have an advanced ICF Level 2 plus ACTC program, starting on the 16th of April, which will be led by Cindy, who is also in the webinar today, and Ram. You will prepare for 2 certifications through this particular program. One is the advanced level or the PCC certification, and the other is the ACTC or the advanced, the team coaching certification. After that, we have a level 1 coaching foundation program, which will again prepare you for the ICF level 1 or the ACC credential. This one starts on 18th April, and this will be led by Smita Raghu. We also have another coaching foundation, aka ICF level 1 program, again, starting on the 27th of April, which will be led by Priya Ramesh. Lastly, we are also launching some short programs in April and May. And for coaches, these programs would serve as an opportunity to renew their credentials through CCEUs and RDs. And for non-coaches, these are, a unique opportunity to explore some fresh coaching topics. And we would really, request you to check them out. And I would just shortly be pasting all the links on the chat box. So do, and if you have any inquiries whatsoever, please do reach out to us at contact@coacharya.com or support@coacharya.com. And, our team would be happy to help you with all those inquiries. And for the short programs, we have self-coaching for building self-worth with Anshu Bhargava, which is starting on the 5th of April. Then we have coaching mindset for financial well-being with Swapna Merashi, starting on 18th of April. We also have an NLP primer program, which again would be led by Prakash, who is joining us in the webinar today. This one starts on 8th May. Then we have Building Creative Confidence with Shiva Subramaniam starting on the 9th of May. So these are, some of the programs which we have lined up for the months of April and May. We would, be really happy if you check them out and contact us for any inquiries. And having said that, I would request Prakash and Cindy to, take the discussion forward. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Yamini. Always a pleasure to have you at the beginning of our programs. Coaches, welcome, and it's wonderful to be with all of you again. Can't see all of you, but I know that we are connected. It's quite exciting today. I'm not going to take too much time doing introductions. Prakash is known to many of you. He's an MCC coach and a trainer, mentor, evaluator at Coach Arya, a vital part of our faculty. Of course, he plays many other roles as coach and many more. We'll speak about that a bit later. To Lakshmi, thank you so much for joining us, Lakshmi. It's a pleasure having you. I'm going to go off mute. Prakash and Lakshmi will do some coaching for about 40 to 45 minutes or 30 to 40 minutes. We will then have a discussion about the coaching. While Prakash and Lakshmi are engaged in the coaching, you're most welcome to share whatever you want on the chat, your insights, your awareness, your coaching skills that are showing up, or whatever you're noticing in the coach showing up. Please feel free to, talk about that in the chat. Prakash won't even look at it at that point, or Lakshmi, they're going to be busy engaged in the coaching. But I'll pick up some of those points and we'll engage in discussion thereafter.
Yeah.
Okay. Prakash, over to you, and thank you.
So much. Thank you so much.
Looking forward to today.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Hi, Lakshmi. Good afternoon.
Hi, Prakash. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Fantastic. So, Lakshmi, I know this is a session that's viewed by a lot of people. I hope you are comfortable being coached this way.
Yes, I am okay with that. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. Right. And you're okay with this session being recorded?
Yes, I'm okay with it. Yes.
Right. Right. So, go ahead, Lakshmi. What is that you want to discuss today?
I think I want to talk about work-life balance, particular to me. So, some aspects, certain times I feel like I have fantastic work-life balance. I'm managing everything well. And then sometimes I feel like I feel overwhelmed by work, and sometimes just by home and everything. And then lately I've realized that I'm just running in circles to catch up. I mean, I'm very overwhelmed with work, then I take off, then I'm very overwhelmed with home, then I just try to take a step back, and then the cycle continues and the cycle continues. Rather than being in the cycle, I just want to have like a streamlined way of approaching both work, home, and just take it both hand in hand. So that is what I want to talk about, and I think that's what I want to focus on in this session.
So you said sometimes you have work-life balance.
Yeah.
What's that sometimes?
So when things go according to my plan, that is those sometimes. So I feel like, okay, then I take out time for my work. Okay, this is so much to study. This is so much to work, and now this is so much. My daughter is studying, so much time to spend with her, to help her with her studies, and so much time for playing with her, for going out with her. Then so much for your home activities and all of that. So when they're all going as per what I planned, then I'm okay. When they fall apart a little bit, I'm okay. Then I fall apart a lot, then I think things will be okay. I can pull it out. I can pull myself together and go on with it. But then it happens too often, and I just get overwhelmed with all of it. And then it takes like a complete stall. I don't know where to go, what to give importance to, where to start from. And then I feel like I'm again sitting down, okay, get things in order, and then until it all falls apart. So it's like a cycle that goes on.
Hmm. So you said you want to have a better work-life balance, and you also said, when it is going as per your plan, it's okay. If it's
Yes.
a little bit here and there, you're still okay. So what is that you want to discuss today that helps you bring that work-life balance?
Now that you put it this way, it makes me think of probably not accounting for all the unforeseen circumstances, or just things that might just suddenly take up a lot of time, and then I'm like a bit confused about how do I slot it in all my routine, in all that I want to do. Now this is something else taking up a lot of time. I think it's more about, again, just dealing with things that I'm not prepared for yet. Something I'm prepared for, I'm supposed to do this, so I'm much more okay to deal with it than rather than, like, for an example, so I was very occupied with work, my studies. So I said, I'm going to take a few days off last week. So my daughter and I, we went to Denmark, we had a little holiday, and I said, okay, that's okay. So we had this conversation. You go do your studies. I'm going to go do my studies, and we go. So she, of course, she's very nice, and she agreed to it, and she's got a full plan of what she's going to do, and I've got my plan of what I'm going to do. And then I've come full on. I've got a lot of things to catch up, even more because I've gone on the vacation. And now my daughter's got this, she's not feeling so well. She says, I have a pain in my ear. And I'm like completely put off by this. Okay, a flu I can manage. I know what to do. Now, what is this ear pain? I mean, I'm totally new to this, and she's never had it before. Now I'm like, so should I bring her to a doctor now, or to a specialist, or should I just let her be, or should I go on? And I have assignments and things lined up there, one after the other, and it's like, I think I'm managing it, at times I think I'm not managing it, and then everything comes to a stall, and something takes priority, and then we go on from it. Something breaks down, something takes priority. Just there is a clear thing. Okay, stop everything else and do this.
So I hear you say two things. One is that I'm okay with flu, but ear pain is something new. And then something comes to stall. So, when you say this, what do you hear for yourself? That, something new I can't handle. And after some time, it comes to stall. And then you have to prioritize again. What does this mean to you?
So what comes to, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, ear pain is new. Then not just ear pain, but anything new in life. Then I think it takes my 100% of my attention for me to be involved in it. So, like, if it's a flu, then I know what are the medicines. I know how long it's going to take. Like, it's a matter of few days. Da da da. You don't have to do it. Now, this ear pain is a new thing. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take, or this new with, I mean, not just in terms of illness or anything, but with new aspects in life. And then it takes up a lot of my time. I get anxious about it. So what happens is, usually when I am what do you say, well, multitasking and doing a couple of things at a time. Okay, I know this is happening, but running on this side, and then I can manage the other things. But when something new is coming up, I'm not able to do multitasking, and I'm so anxious about one that I'm not able to focus on the other aspects of life. My work, if something very very big is happening at work, I mean, yes, my home also takes that stall. I don't look at it for some time. And I don't think that's how I want to be. I want to have the focus on both. Um, I'm okay to I'm okay to not have focus on it for a little bit of time and then come back to it, because I feel I understand that sometimes work needs more focus, sometimes home needs more focus, but most of the time I want it to be running together, and I want it to be streamlined. I mean, it's just two things. I mean, I can do it.
Hmm. So, Lakshmi, I sense this um, uh, anxiety about new things, also being overwhelmed about some extra work, focus about work, home, studies, daughter, and all of that. I'm just curious, how is this something new and work-life balance connected?
Mm. Something new happens at work, then there's no life, there's just work. And then something new happens in the life part of the family part of it. Then the work is like stalling. I'm like, okay, I need a break now. I'm taking a few days off. Something I need to focus on this area of my life. So yeah, that is how it affects actually.
Interesting. So, for the next 30 or 40 minutes, what would be a worthwhile statement that you want to focus on? This is what I want to focus on.
Okay, probably now that we've had this conversation, I think it's not about the work-life balance, but probably how do I approach these uh, new events that are happening and not be so anxious about it. Probably it's the anxiety that is causing me to take to stall the other things in my life, which I don't want to. I feel that something, if I'm not going to be focusing so much on one thing, it'll just go terribly bad. So that I'm giving it all the focus and I'm not thinking about the other things. Uh, so I want to focus on, what do I say? I want to probably be more comfortable with dealing with new things, not being so anxious about it.
Mhm. And how will you know that you're comfortable dealing with new things by end of 30 minutes?
I don't know. Probably, I'm not sure if I would know by the end of 30 minutes. Probably, I will need to have these events happening in real life time, and I should be able to feel that okay, I'm able to handle it without anxiety, which
Yeah. So you said probably new things brings anxiety,
yes.
and now you're telling me that no, probably in real life, if you're able to handle that without anxiety, you will know that you're managing it well. But after 30 minutes, what is that one feeling that will kind of give you that assurance that you will probably handle real life incidents without anxiety?
Mm, maybe if I look at it differently, or I see why I panic about this new things because it's totally new to me, of course,
Mm.
and maybe there's no need to panic so much, and maybe understand that I can handle it. Um a change in perspective on those lines, probably.
Mm. So differently like what?
Mm, not how do I not be anxious when I'm having new things? It's not about change. I when even when there is change, I know what is happening, I know what to do, then it's fine. It's like when I don't know what to do, and that is when I do not. That is when everything else comes to this big stop.
Mm.
uh, and to be able to manage my anxiety in at those times, and to probably, I mean, I have managed many such events before, so to be more confident in myself, uh, saying that I will be able to manage and not be so anxious, so I can uh, I can manage both the new thing, whatever the situation is, and the rest of the aspects of my life in a cool way.
Lakshmi, I hear a very different um, vocabulary from you now. From saying I don't know, I kind of get anxious with the unknown, what I don't know, something new. Also by saying, I need to deal real life situation without anxiety. You're now saying I've done this before. I can manage situation. Where are you operating from?
So yeah, like there are new situations that come up. Of course, I get anxious, and of course, I feel like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to deal with it? But eventually, I have managed through these things, and I have, I have come across successfully. I've come across okay. I've done it okay. So, so even though this may be a new thing,
Mhm,
just like I have come across new things in the past,
mhm,
I may be able to do this one as well,
mhm.
even though I don't know the answer now. Just to be able to believe in myself, saying that even though I don't have the answer now, I will be able to deal with it, find the answers, and deal with it.
I'm just going to play the last sentence, Lakshmi, for you. You said, I will be able to deal with it in future.
Yes,
So between now and future, what's holding you back?
I think the knowledge of how to deal with it, and
Mhm,
sometimes certain things is it's a lot of emotional aspect to it as well. I mean, you don't know how things are going to play out. You don't know what's going to come out. So that also causes anxiety. So many elements cause anxiety. But to be able to say that no matter what happens, uh, that I can stay calm about it.
mhm,
I, and that I think that will give me the confidence that I can handle the issue as well.
mhm. So I hear you say, I can handle, I will handle. Are you handling right now?
Feel I lack the knowledge to handle it right now.
Mhm,
Um, but at the same time, think I shouldn't hold myself back
mhm,
because I may not always have the knowledge at that point in time.
mhm.
And um, and only after I will start working on the issues or something, and then I will gather knowledge and um, have the skill to deal with the problem. But yes, I think not having that knowledge at that point in time to deal with the issue, I think that that is what is causing the anxiety and probably that is what I'm struggling to feel comfortable with at that point as well. I mean,
Okay, interesting. So now you're telling me that if there is something new, maybe lack of knowledge to deal with that situation is causing anxiety. And you said in the beginning that you want to walk away with something that where you can handle new things without anxiety.
mm.
So what is the relational connection between anxiety and knowledge of dealing things?
It's not the knowledge, it's the not having the knowledge actually.
Okay.
Uh, it's not having the knowledge of not doing things. I mean, it one cannot have all the knowledge of doing everything in life.
Hmm.
And and especially with me, I mean, as I go through the process, I learn things.
Hmm.
So what is the point of being anxious about it in the beginning, actually? I mean, like, yeah,
So what's
I,
the point in being anxious in the beginning?
yeah, true. There's no point, I think, to get so anxious about it because it's okay. You don't hide. I don't have the knowledge. It's fine. But I can find out what's happening. I can okay just now with this ear problem, ear pain. I mean, can talk to my friend what happens with her kids, or can call up a doctor, bring her to a doctor. So I can just do that, and thinking of that process is what is making me anxious because it's new. I don't have to do that. For a flu, I know the process. I don't know the process for an airplane, how to deal with it. But I know what to do. In fact, I mean, what are the steps I can take to deal with it, make it go away, or manage the situation. But I
So
look back at
I don't have to get anxious. I should be calm. I can't handle this. Maybe I will get the knowledge as I go along. I should not be doing this. Who are you telling all this to?
to myself.
And
No one else. It's just to myself, actually.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I actually,
which self?
the self that is actually feeling quite foolish right now. Uh, it's a self that's overly responsible and wants to get everything in order and wants to have go by the book, and it's a self that panics a lot when things go a little haywire, cannot handle ambiguity, and uh, it's a very straight self. I mean, it's just it's the self that is it protects me from the other, don't do these other things, just go straight, and you will what do I say, how it's I mean, it stops me from stepping aside from my daily routines, or my for what I'm supposed to do. It is like, if you go over this side, probably you might get hurt, you may not get your job done, this might not end up well, so then you always stick to that side. So it's also good in many ways. It stops a lot of stops me from wasting a lot of time and engaging with a lot of what do I say, dangerous individuals, to unwanted people and all this. It's a thing that saves me time and keeps me safe. But it's also the self that's causing this anxiety.
Hmm. So when you spoke about the self, you had a notice smile.
Yeah.
What's about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's that part of me is the major part of me, and it's like I listen to that person in me more. Uh, I
So is that person speaking to you right now?
Well, I mean, it felt a bit very foolish when you asked me uh, who is this person, and why should you do it? I mean, it's so clear. I mean, getting anxious for nothing. You've done it in the past, so uh, yeah. No, it's not that person who's talking to you right now.
Hmm.
It's a bit shunned away.
Okay. So you told that this is the person who speaks to you more.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to tell the person now that that person is shunned away?
I want to tell this person that I know what you're trying to do for me is for the good.
Hmm.
But there is no need to panic me.
Hmm.
We have handled these situations before, and we can do it now as well. So take it easy. We can do it together.
Hmm. Interesting way you have included that person. You have said we have handled these situations in the past. Who are this we?
I think this other me who's protecting me from from not doing wrong things, or is very used to following the book and following rules and everything, who likes operating in the known.
In a way, you're telling me, Lakshmi, is that there is this person who often protects you from drifting away from the plans, drifting away from the normal course, protecting you from, getting hurt, and also, telling you not to get hurt by, doing things. So in a way, in the past or maybe now, this person is somewhere useful. I'm just curious, with the reflection you had telling, I don't have to get anxious for unnecessarily. With that frame in mind, how do you want to make this person useful?
Actually, this person is very useful. This person is the one who keeps tab of everything. My involvement in the meetings, how do I prepare for the meetings and this and that and everything. And it's like, so, but this overly following the rules and overly involved in all of these things, it's that is how the other me is. But so when things go a little bit haywire, there's this part of me panics a lot. So, but we have seen through these situations. So this part of me is very good for me. I mean, it's good. I mean, I want to, it's part of me. It's a major part of me. So I cannot chuck it out as well. It's me. And but it will be very, very useful to have this sense of calm in handling new situations, and not be thrown away by it. Even if things spin off, I feel confident I can manage it.
So if you were to coach this person, because this person is good, been protecting you for a long time, it's a major part of you. If you were to coach this person, saying how to behave in new situations, how do you want to coach this person?
Hmm. I would make this person reflect on all the things that she's been through, and so many ambiguous, unseen circumstances that she has dealt with. And not just dealt with successfully. So many of them, many successes. So, and that she's proud of. And if I'm able to, not if I am, when she connects with that part of success and the pride that she has she has from the previous experiences, I think she will be more confident with in handling these new situations, ambiguous situations.
And how do you want to do that?
And I want to remind myself of all the times I've been. I mean, I'm not prepared for for a particular thing, and yet it turned out to be amazing. Yet I did very well. Yeah.
So from how we started by saying, want to handle new things without anxiety, and now saying, oh, this is the person which is useful, but I just need to calm that person.
Yeah.
And do you see any progress, or do you see any shift in how we started and where we are now?
I do. I mean, I think even in the beginning, you pointed out that I can do it, I will wait, and I will see it. And it's all like a very future language.
Mhm.
But to be able to talk to the person and to and to and to share that and to shed light on all the successes you've been like, you've handled things like this before. It's not going to be bad. You're not going to fail badly. I mean, you manage these things, and you have a kind of you have kind of data from. It's not just, I'm not just telling you, but it is truth. I mean, you have experience, you have data from before. So when I can see it in that light, then there is then there is then I can feel I feel that there is there's a different way of looking at things, like a less more calm way of looking at things.
Great. Lakshmi, I think this is the magic that I often see, that from saying that, oh, this is something new, so I can't handle it, and saying that, there's this person of me sometimes overpowers. Also, accepting the fact that this person is good, it protects me. The shift is so seamless, and you also have a lot of reference to the past. So it's not that, there is a new discovery. There is a template that has played in the past, that has successfully played in the past, and you also know that how it works. So seeing this progress of yourself, what do you discover about yourself?
So you spoke about a template, Prakash, and when there is a template, I'm okay with it. Right. I was not very anxious when there is a template. I was anxious when there is no template. How do I? And today I feel confident to even handle issues where I have no template to follow. So it's like, come what may, I think if I don't have to get anxious, because I'm going to be doing the same thing again. It's going to give it the 100% and be with the problem. So there is no need to get the anxiety in and to have the third element. I can just solve it without the anxiety. With or without the anxiety, I'm going to go through it the same way. So why have that element in the beginning and to have that drama around it? So that's how the shift is.
Good. One thing I really appreciate, the fact that you have really made huge progress with yourself and with the other person within yourself. But I wish this was a OTT platform where I could rewind a little bit. I really loved the way you said, I was anxious. So what has changed now?
This particular perspective, or this particular thing, that with or without the anxiety, the result is going to be the same. Okay, if you had fantastic result, you had a fantastic result. You had a very bad result. That's fine. I mean, you didn't expect it. That's fine. So that with anxiety is not playing any part in it. So just to understand that part, I mean, why to get anxious about it? And that, I think that part was very key.
Brilliant. So what do you want to do with this informed awareness?
And every time I have something new come my way, I should be able to remember this, saying that, well, there's no point getting anxious about it. Just relax. We can handle it. Let's do it. So there's this moment, there's this very sudden moment when I find out there's something new happening, or something new, challenging coming up my way. And I go, woof, what do I do now? So there's this, it's like a shock. It's almost like a quick shock. I think that is the moment that I tell myself, or I become aware of my anxiousness. I think when I am aware that I'm anxious, then I can calm down. When I'm not aware I'm anxious, that's when it goes on, and one thing affects the other, and then it's like so when I have that sudden spike about, oh, and immediate, that awareness should tell me that calm down.
Very nice. Oh, something has happened. So calm down. Yeah, you just go back and calm down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lakshmi, I'm just curious, so what is it you will intentionally do from now on to kind of, help this awareness anchor with you more?
Hmm. Just feel the spike. The spike is almost real when it happens. So when I feel the spike, I can come back. It's like a break in it's a break.
So, what can support you to just come back like this?
What can support me? Hmm. No, I don't think I need any support. I mean, I'm not falling off the chair, but I'm just coming off. I mean, and I'm like, I'll stay like
What
take back.
can keep you there?
Oh,
Sorry, go on.
yeah. I think just the awareness to say that, oh, it's happening, and then to take a step back, like, okay, hold on. So mm, that is good enough to have the awareness of my awareness of the anxiousness and and to be calm, be cool. I think that is good enough. And no, once I go up, then I stay in that, oh, what's happening now? Oh, so what do we do next? So that. So the moment I come down, then I go back to the same state.
Yeah.
And then in that state, now I find out what is happening. So that is a very, very different thing, because there is this energy shift. I mean, because you asked this question, it's happening, it's bringing awareness to me. When something new happens, that I go, oh, and then I stay in that shift, and it's like, oh, what's happening? Oh, so what do we do next? So, okay, rather than that, then when I come back, then it's come to my back to back to the same energy that I was before I came across this new thing or this shock thing, and I operate at that level. So
Correct.
that,
When you say I come back and there is this energy shift,
yeah,
is there a name to it? Is there somewhere in the body?
no, I don't. No, I don't think there's a name to it.
Okay. So how do you feel? When you go back, how do you feel for yourself?
I think this when I'm stressed or when I'm more attentive, it's like a very rigid posture and very rigid. I think when I come back, I'm more relaxed. Okay, bring it on. Let's see.
Okay.
I can handle it. Come on, get it.
Right. So what can ensure that you stay in that state of relaxed? Bring it on.
I think once that awareness is there, I'm getting anxious, and then I can stay calm. Then I am aware. Okay, you might get you don't get anxious. There's no need to get anxious. That awareness is there. If that awareness does not come back, only then there is a problem. But when there's a spike and then I feel the awareness, I come back. I gain that awareness. Then I feel like I can manage it. I can maintain that awareness. Yes.
Great. Is there anything that you want to share or ask for you to feel complete at this moment?
No, no. I feel yeah. I feel good about it. Yeah, I think I can carry this with me.
Brilliant. Good for you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Prakash.
Is it okay if we pause now?
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Cindy, over to you.
How was that for you, Lakshmi? If you need a moment to pause, it's also okay before you answer. But how's the coaching for you?
It was amazing as always. Prakash is a very good coach, and he was able to trigger certain questions to get my focus on how to get the anxiety out, and it was like And it was just one question that triggered the shift. It was amazing how it's amazing how he positions his questions.
Mm. Yeah, we noticed that, right? We could see it in your body language, especially in your face. And when you were thinking, we were like, a part of your reflections. We could notice that. It was nice to watch your process also unfolding in your face and even in your hand motions when you were talking. And even when you spoke about the calm state, I mean, we could see the change in your body language. Coaches, on the chat, did you notice that? What did you notice in like perhaps I didn't pick that up and you may have picked up more? Even around your own awareness and insight, it was lovely the way you shared. Actually, it was quite thoughtful the way you kind of processed it and then shared.
I did feel the energy shift as well, as Prakash was asking me. I mean, I could just, and when we're talking about the spike and then getting back to the calm, I mean, it was like, wow, I should just capture this and have it every time I start to feel like, oh my God, like, just go back. So
Yeah, you did that, the up and down. We could, yeah.
Yeah. That's me all the time going up when I hear something not I want to hear.
Yeah. Prakash, how was the coaching for you?
I think the way she, brought about the topic and she navigated, from saying a work-life balance, a very corporate word, from making it real for her, saying anxiety and specifically with anything new that emerges. I think it was good, right? She really came across, very, very genuine and authentic, and that made the coaching session very effortless for me also, because a very content-driven corporate kind of talking can make it very difficult for any coach. So,
Yeah. To our participants, please, if you have any questions for Prakash, would you type it into either the Q&A box or into the chat? Prakash, I want to engage you in some things. You did lovely pieces on how the client was engaging with self. There were some lovely questions you asked around that, and I'm not sure whether you're using tools or techniques, but the way you came across in your engaging and inviting the client to notice those pieces with self, like who's telling you that, and how are you engaging with that? It was lovely. What were you doing? You want to talk a bit about that?
thanks, Cindy, for noticing that. For me, if a client says that, I think you noticed, she said, we have handled it in the past. And I want to know who is that we, so, because generally people don't speak we and I synonymously. There is something going on. Yeah. And when she said that, there is, I will do it. I can do it. I know how to do it. There is nothing to get anxious about. When she's telling that, I don't know, my gut said that, she's not telling to herself. So I asked her, who are you telling this? Because of course she was not telling it to me. That much I could sense. It was not for me. So I was curious about, who is she telling to? And that's when she said, there is another self that I'm telling this to. Because often when any client speaks in active sense, I know they're not talking to me. They're talking to some self of themselves.
I think, Prakash, it's more like an internal dialogue with self.
Yeah, maybe internal dialogue. So what happens, Cindy, is there are three kinds of dialogues internally.
Mhm.
One is an affirmation
Mm.
that we often tell, we are very assured about those sentences. Now, sometimes we get up and say, okay, today is a great day and I'm going to win. Sometimes, we have this, what Timothy Ferris says in Inner Game of Tennis, self one and self two, that
Yeah.
doubting self talks to the, winning self, or winning self talk to the doubting self. That's the conversation. So that it's a two-way conversation. So whether who wins decides who wins the day. The doubting self wins, then the doubting self wins the day. If the winning self wins, then the winning self wins the day. So it's generally that conversation that happens in the mind, apart from these upper affirmations. So there is three-way communication happening. So there can be affirmations even from self two or self one, which is the doubting self, who can say you're good for nothing, you have lost many times. People have laughed when you went on stage. So don't do it again. You're a bad singer. Restrict yourself to being a bathroom singer. So these are very natural conversations that happens inside.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the coaching, for me, I know that this conversation is happening right in front of me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's also with different identities that client carries. So just to ask and to bring it to the notice of the client, sometimes helps. I'm glad it helped today.
Yeah. Because there's one thing that we all noticed, you did quite beautifully, was remained with the woo of the client. It was very client-centric and not focused on, the work-life balance that she was bringing in, but more how she was managing it, what was her self-talk, how she could make progress for herself. Yeah, I love those pieces that you brought in about the woo of the client.
Cindy, often I did have this conversation, I think 45 minutes before this webinar today, with one of the other learning coaches. Often our cognitive is content driven. So we want to speak about what's happening around us, from the environment, from the surroundings, or from the situations. We bring in a lot of content. Yesterday I went here, I spoke to this person, this happened, it was 4 o'clock in the evening, and blah, blah, blah. So we are very content driven. So sometimes as a coach, it's conveniently to ignore the content and concentrate on the who of the client. So naturally, even client will ignore the content.
Yeah. So I'm mindful of time, and I'm going to ask this to Lakshmi. Lakshmi, what are some of the pieces that most impacted you? Like those questions that you found made you stop and reflect and maybe still sitting with you?
This asking about this other self, right? It's the major part of me, if you say, and to think about this. Okay, who in me is taking these decisions? Who in me is doing this? And there's a lot of things that happen during this dialogue, which you may not have. There's why this other person is doing it, and there was a dialogue between these two saying that, but I'm only doing this to protect you, and without this, so many things can go wrong. I mean, you cannot go. I mean, how will you go for your presentations and stuff if I don't help you with all of that? The other person saying, but I want to remain cool and calm and all of that. It's like, but you need me as well. Then like, yeah, I need you as well, but you need me as well. You need to be cool and calm as well. So, yes, I was talking to Prakash, but there was internal conversation that was happening, which Prakash mentioned now, and yeah, it was funny how he spoke about it, and which only I was privy to. That even though I'm talking to you, but these are the things that was going on in my mind, the conversations which no one else heard, but Prakash could sense it, and to get a balance between these two self, and to make both of them uh, to get them to do oh, what do I say? It's not the ideal way. It's like to get the most benefit out of it. I mean, it's one is hurting the actual sense of it. Oh, I don't want to be anxious, but I want the other person to be the major part of me. I mean, I thought I want this person to also be with me. So to have those internal conversations, those conversations were provoked by Prakash. I think what is heard during the conversation, the coaching conversation is one thing, but what is not heard in the coaching conversation
Hmm.
is a question that Cindy, you ask. What am I ask? What is a question that you're asking yourself that I'm not asking you? You know,
Yeah.
and that I think a lot of that happens, and that is where the shift as well happens, I feel.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that because I could see the way you were processing. Yes, there was a dynamic of you and Prakash, what you were sensing and how he was offering it back to you. But I sense there was also this process that you were going through with yourself, your own internal dialogue, and like unpacking Joari's window, the knowns and the unknowns to yourself.
Yes.
It was lovely to watch that. You went below your own iceberg, and I'm sure you're going to pick up and process a whole lot more after the session.
Mhm.
It was lovely to watch you. I mean, it was, it wasn't anything magnificent like jumping on the table and dancing thing, but it was those subtle nuances showing up. It was lovely to watch that.
Thank you, Cindy. I don't know.
Coaches, anything you want to say about the coaching, please go ahead.
Cindy,
We've got time. Yeah.
there is a question from Shabnam. Can I
Yeah.
ask, this was not a demo or a recorded session? How would the coachee feel when needing to come up with the answers? Maybe at times there wasn't a response coming up for you. And did she feel this is the support she wanted? What I was taking away is that she probably knows these answers, but maybe when the situation occurs, she falls back into the same mode of panic. If that is the case, how does the coach help? Okay. So, Shabnam, I don't know whether there was any difference that would have really made if it was not getting recorded, because Lakshmi was prepped to tell that she's not able to see anybody. So
Yeah.
she was only able to see me. She can't see all the attendees. In fact, I also can't see. So that makes the webinar slightly more psychologically safe for both the coach and the coachee. And second thing, responses not coming up is, I feel, is just part of the coaching process. And it can happen to any client. It's okay if there is a client who is not able to respond to any question. And it's okay if the client is not able to come up with any response during the entire coaching session. I mean, sometimes clients are not ready. Just because we have a scheduled time with a client does not mean answers have to come on that day.
Yeah.
It's perfectly.
Prakash, sorry, Prakash, I want to say this before we have people logging off. There was a sense of trust you had in the answers coming out of the client. Like the client has all this potential inside them, and the client is an all resourceful person. And the answers did come out of your client. How does a coach show up with that level of trust, knowing that the answers will come out of the client?
Cindy, a very simplest belief I have as a coach is, I don't know anything about the client.
Yeah.
And I really don't know anything about the client. At least Lakshmi, I've seen her for some time now. There are sometimes people suddenly pop up from Germany, Australia. They say, hi, my name is so and so, and we start the session. So sometimes I don't even know their second name. So I can't make any assumptions on their behalf. The only thing that I know is magic is with the client and client is the magic. So if anything is going to happen, shift, change, anything that's going to happen in the coaching session, it is with the client. And I've told this many times in my cohorts. Magic happens with the client and client is the magic. And that's my biggest belief. as a coach. I have absolutely no idea what happens in any coaching session, but I know one thing, that clients holds the magic. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
like this magic magicians, right? You just do this, everything is there in the box. This is the drama you do in front of the crowd. And then, the pigeon comes out. Pigeon is already there.
Yeah. The pigeon was there all the time.
Yeah,
Prakash,
pigeon was there all the time.
yeah. Lakshmi, as we close our session, what would you like to say to feel completed for today's session?
I just want to answer that question. What if I don't have the answers? What is a coachee? I mean, I think as a coachee, it's okay, right? No, not to have the right answers. Sometimes the questions, it's about it's what the coachee interprets of the question rather than the question itself, and coachee unlocking his or her beliefs and stuff. So the so yeah, to answer, what if I do not know the answer to any of the questions? So what if I do not have the right answer? Was that one of the question, isn't it?
Yeah, because the answers can be very variable, right? Depending on the depth of the question. Because every different coaches will ask that question differently,
True.
and the answers can come out differently too.
Yeah,
So the
true.
power lies in the question, not exactly the answer, because thought-provoking, creative, all is a part of the question.
True. So even when Prakash asked about this template, right, his part of the so I don't have to necessarily say about the template, but his thing is about how you're doing it. But I don't have a template. I mean, where the coach doesn't have to feel cornered to talk about a template that the coach has to. You can say that no, it's not about following a template. It's about comfortable with not following a template and being okay with it, and being calm about it, and it's so it's yeah, I don't think the coachee needs to feel very anxious about the question itself from the coach. I think it needs to be authentic and true to the answers.
Yeah,
think.
absolutely. I fully agree. Many times when I get asked a coaching question in coaching, sometimes I can ignore that question because another question will be emerging inside me, and I'll go, that question triggered out the right question for me. So it's brilliant what you're saying. Thank you, Lakshmi. Prakash, your closing thoughts?
I really love the session. Thanks for inviting, Cindy. And it's been 5 years with Coach Arya, and I love every minute doing something or the other with Coach Arya. I love this. Thanks, Lakshmi, for taking time out. I know you have a meeting waiting for you. Thank you so much for making time. And thanks to all the coaches and to-be coaches to come on a Wednesday evening and spending time. Thank you so much. See you sometime. See you sometime.
Thank you, everybody. Next week again is live coaching. Please do join us. Sorry, not next week, next month. Next month, Masters in Coaching. Again, we are doing a live coaching session. Bye, everyone.